Hey, I'm Orla.
And I'm Leanne. And together we are...
How's your ma?
So today we have the lovely Keith Dixon here with us in the studio. Keith has been a good friend of mine for 16 years.
I've just met him.
He's getting real old. Not us, because we're young ones.
No, young ones.
Women don't get old.
Women don't get old. Thank God you know that, Keith. And I suppose we invited Keith along because he has, I suppose, been shaped by many people across his lifetime, but has also shaped many people across his lifetime. I would be one of those people that Keith has shaped through a friendship and through the coaching that he would have gave me. And I think that he has a very interesting perspective. He's been through a lot of growth. Would you agree with that, Keith?
Yeah.
Thank God I dragged you through that, huh?
Yeah. Oh, thanks. I needed it after coaching you.
He's been through a lot of growth, and I think his life has probably changed in many ways over the years. So wherever you want to start your story, back in Blanchardstown would be great. Thanks very much. But wherever you want to start your story, Keith, we'll just take it from there.
Yeah. So I met Leanne through coaching, through gym work. I've been in the gym industry or business 25, 26 years. So that's half my life now. That's going to be 50 next week. Originally from Blanchardstown, grew up in Blanchardstown up in Cardiff. One of five. I was the eldest, 3 sisters and a brother. And yeah, normal childhood. Obviously, back then I was born in 76. So growing up in the 70s, 80s, it was one of those real local, everyone out and about, you know, the street doors still open, all the neighbours in and out of each other's. For me personally, like, my dad always had us standing on our own 2 feet. Don't know whether they were just being a bit lazy, making us hoover or wash or iron or what, but those little characteristics just stood to us growing up, all of us. With my own ma, like, she was the one running around with the 5 kids. I always remember used to get like 2 buses to go anywhere. They didn't have a car. We didn't have a car or anything like that. And it was one of those things, you know, getting 2 buses, like a bus into town and then a bus out to say my nannies or something over in Kilbarrack, or my dad bringing us down to his family in Cabra. So I was interested in sports, just playing sports and through school and out and about everywhere. And that's kind of what, when I started working, like I was working in town initially, and that's what kind of brought me into the health and fitness industry first initially.
What's it like to be the eldest in a family of 5? And your brother is the youngest, isn't he,
Your brother
Stephen?
is the youngest.
So
yeah.
it's 3
Golden
girls,
balls. Yeah.
3 girls in the middle, which also brought 3 other men into your family's lives at different stages, and you being in charge of all of that.
Yeah, and yeah, as the eldest, like, I was actually only seeing a thing today about they've scientifically proven that the youngest child gets away with a lot more. And they don't need, they could have just asked me and I'd have told them that anyway.
Orla is the youngest child in our family, so I strongly agree with what you have to say there.
But no, as well, like...
But I was always a good child, so...
Here, we were all good.
I didn't have to get away with anything because I was good. But anyway.
But yeah, I suppose I was the one, the first one out doing everything and out doing so I always brought any of them with me as well. If we were hanging around, it was like, Keith, take them with you, or Keith, do this. But it was great as well because I loved bringing them around, hanging around with them, especially with Stephen. Like, he really hung around, grew up with us, like, and he'd still talk about that, how being around me and my friends kind of influenced him and his friends.
What's the age difference?
10 years, exactly 10 years. He's going to be 40 in June, yeah. And then it was also, he has a really close-knit kind of little gang of lads that he just be with now, and they all grew up then seeing, like me, like I grew up a lot with my cousins and then lads on the road, and it would have been real like that, you know, everyone just out on the road together, supporting each other and growing up, going through the same things, the same shit, you know what I mean?
That's missed now, isn't it, in the communities today?
Definitely, yeah.
It's something that we just don't see enough of anymore.
No, and like my 2 boys are 17 and 12, and you can see that they're after growing up completely different to the way I grew up. Not the way?
Yeah.
Completely different. They're a little bit, not spoiled, but they have what they want as well. You know, that type of thing, isn't it?
Spoiled.
So.
Oh no, I think they're spoiled for good reason, though. In fairness,
in a good way.
Yeah.
You know, like when we were growing up, we always, like, my mum and dad didn't have a lot, but they worked for everything they had and gave us everything they had. And our holidays then would have been like Mosney and Puelli and
holidays ever.
Yeah, brilliant times. Like one of the best memories, and we all mention it. Now, my brother wouldn't know about this or that, but he'd have heard stories. Like even Mosney, a gang of 20 people in one little chalet. I was going to say the flats, but the chalet. On the flats.
Up the flats.
But the chalet, and then the night watchman coming around and everyone's running around trying to get out of the chalet and all. Like things like that, remember. But like, obviously as we all grew and moved out, we were doing our own bits. So then the holidays started becoming like Spain and Florida and things like that for them, you know, that way. But that's just how everything evolved and everything changed as well. Like my two boys, they grew up with getting driven around everywhere and all. They've no idea what it's like. 2 buses here, 2 buses there, trains here and there. Just simple things like that.
Walking
as well,
to school.
think, you know,
Yeah, walking.
Walk to school through the snow, trenches of snow.
No even shoes.
No even shoes. Back in the day.
And then sure, like, that's what my 2 boys, like, they love the PlayStation and things. And it's, what, did you have computers back when you were young and all? Like,
we
you're a
had
fucking dinosaur.
like, 64. Do you remember that?
No, I didn't have a PlayStation anyway.
Pac-Man.
Yeah, we had Pac-Man,
Yeah.
And I've seen, like, growing up in Cardiff, people I went to school with, it was drink, drugs. Like, it was a hard place to grow up as well. It was great people, real salted yard people. And seeing people die from drugs, abuse, seeing people completely flip their life around and they're out doing amazing things now after going through all that type of way. But I think I was laughing, there's a guy from Cardiff as well, and he put this thing up on Instagram last week. I had to message him about it. It was a story, a funny meme, like, about if you grew up in the 70s or 80s, you knew what this was, right? And it was a mother packing her suitcase and grabbing the 2 kids on the sofa. Mom, we're leaving in the middle of the night, you know. Mom, we're leaving, getting out here. And I just texted him and said, fucking hell, it must have just been something in Cardiff, was it? He was like, every house did that. That was just the way it was. But silly little things like that as well. Yeah, it was it was good childhood.
I remember you telling me the story, and I still laugh about it when I think about it, because my ma's called Cindy and your ma's called Cindy. And Keith used to say, like, when the dad got a new dog, he used to call her Cindy.
Yeah, my dad loved dogs, always had dogs. If he wasn't out the back building kennels, he was swapping the kennels for an aviary, so there was either a canary Cindy or a dog called Cindy. So sorry.
Oh God! Is that because he was mad about your ma?
Mad about it. Yeah.
They're still together.
They are like, it's mad through all the highs and lows of like just living and life and rearing the 5 of us. They're like 2 school kids now.
Oh, that's lovely.
It's like a full, complete circle. So obviously the 5 of us were their stresses, and now that the 5 of us are gone, they're in peace and they're happy. Yeah. But they're very hands-on with all the grandkids. They help out anyone that wants. They're retired, so I think for a little bit, when they did retire, they were a little bit, not lost, but just a bit bored and a bit like, what are we going to do? Because they were always worked, always so busy, you know. That's what they do. So they're in the gym now. They go off, do their gym sessions, and then they have that. They help out the grandkids around everyone. And
deadly.
They're like 2 little school kids now.
That's good to hear.
And for you to get to where you are now, then you obviously have a story, because you didn't have 2 boys on your own. Never seen you pregnant. Never even seen you with a bit of weight on you, but you didn't have 2 boys on your own, which meant that somebody had them for you.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, Joanne is the boy's mother. Yeah, no, we broke up a few years ago. We actually get on better now.
Isn't that great?
Than we probably ever did. And even during the breakup, after the breakup, there was never, like, the boys were never used against me or held. Like, and I was, you know, Leanne, I'd take the boys and seeing the boys all the time. We'd go out constantly, make sure to ring them every day, every night, just constant contact, and do as much as I can with them. And But even now, actually, what I find with the two boys is, and I find it, this is what I find about life now and the stage now, is that my time with the boys, like good quality times. I used to always bring them, say, football training, GAA, box, anything they ever did, their sports. We always went away on our little weekends, on our holidays and things like that. And what I find now, because they don't do sports, and like Joshua is 17, he's going to be 18 at the end of this year. Zachary's going to be 13. You're getting less and less time with them, if that makes, like, my time with them is running out.
Yeah.
You know that way? Like, that's the reality of life. My time with them is running out. And I'm not looking at that in like a downbeat, morbid kind of way. Like, it's a realistic
They're just
way.
going on to the
No
next chapter.
17-year-old wants to hang around with his stuff. I didn't. You know that way? None of us did. Now, me and Joshua, we go to the Boas games. That's our thing now. We always went into like the Dublin matches and the things like that. Zachary has gone mad for the guitar and the music. We're just in Fairley House at the weekend at that Rockathon festival. And it was just brilliant. Just pure madness, but in an absolutely great way. It was all tribute bands of different, like Guns N' Roses, AC/DC, Metallica, you know. It was great. But yeah, I find now my time with them is running out. So I have to kind of like, they're the priority now of doing things. It's not my time with them, but what we do and how we do things, if that makes sense, you know?
Yeah. I think as your kids grow older, you have to develop a different way of doing things, because they find their own niche and they find what they like, and you have to move with them. Yeah. And just before we came out, like, all of us sitting in the house for an hour before we came out, like with my grandkids, and everybody's didn't. And Bailey walked through the house, literally just walked through. And she
I forget, actually, you're giving me shit about getting old, and there you are, granny.
Twice, a granny twice.
She says to me a few minutes later, "Was that your Bailey who walked through?" And I goes, "Yeah." She goes, "Full of chat, isn't he?" And I was like, "Yeah, not hello, goodbye, kiss me arse, nothing. Yeah. And I was just saying this morning, I was helping him out with something, and like 10 minutes later, he was like, "Thanks," but that was a text message. It wasn't even a thanks to me face.
He's so grateful, though. You should be happy with that.
But it does change.
They go through that stages of that as well. Like Joshua was like that for a while, just barely get a word out of him, or like thing. And now, as like he's almost 18, he's different, you know. And even like he's close. Actually, he was always for, you know, all the like Trailburgs and all these type of things. Like last year he cleared out his whole wardrobe and threw all that out, and he loves all just like his little stylish tracksuit, the clothes, like say Zara's and
lovely,
just unlabeled stuff and thing, just wearing real,
He's finding
he's finding his own feet, like.
He must be sniffing girlfriends.
Of course, he has his girlfriend. Yeah, of course he has his girlfriend.
She's styling him.
Yeah,
you can always depend on a woman to have your back.
Get rid of them tracksuits.
Get rid of the
You look like a up-row. Get it gone.
I'm here shaking my head, looking around the room for the escape one.
Oh, Carl, have you got jeans or tracksuit on? Tracksuit, they look like jeans. I don't know what these are. You do, and you're afraid we'll slag you. That's what's wrong with you.
Your girlfriend bought you then, did she?
They find their feet. They find their own way.
There you go.
They do find their own way.
And you have to let them, because even over the years of, say, being in the gym, coaching people, training people, like even I always felt then that if they weren't into that, there was something wrong and thing. It was like pushing me onto them, and I got so conscious of that then that I had to like completely step back from it. Now I'm all for like, you have to show them the way a bit. You have to give them that little push, that guidance. It's not good to sit around, you know, type thing. But I was just always conscious then of pushing too much.
Yeah, and I remember you adapting your work years ago, and you're like, "No, I need to do a team program because teens need this and teens need that." And I was like, "The fuck, Keith? They don't leave your kids alone. They're trying to create this around them, but it's about a movement space." With
Youth Reach, they were coming to me in the gym and all, and the young lads were just like opening up and talking then after a while in some of the sessions, and I always had to like just let their leaders know what was going on or being said, and they were like, "Keith, they're giving you more information in that 45 minutes than we're getting out of them all week long up in the place."
Because I think it can be, I think being in the gym for me anyway, over some of those years could be a really vulnerable, secure space. Like we've had really deep conversations, like told each other to go and fuck ourselves and all, like, do you know what I mean? It's like we had really deep conversations. I was obviously separating.
I didn't think you meant any of that.
Keith, go and fuck yourself. But I was separating from my husband at the time, and I was going to therapy. Yeah. And I remember coming back and telling you about some of those sessions, or like was Jesus walking hard in loads of different ways, and just kind of finding the outlet where you can find that space to release. And I know we see all these memes all the time of like your gym instructors, your counsellor, they're putting up on the things that they hear, but you hear about menopause, you hear about miscarriage, you hear about loss, you hear about family breakdowns, you hear about affairs, you hear about trouble, you hear about mental health, you hear about addiction. Like, it's a tough job, really, isn't it? And lots of that comes from the women and the men.
You were just saying about recording some episodes, and you have to protect yourself, how you feel afterwards from it and thing. Because I've actually cut one or two clients off for exactly those reasons, that they drain the life out of you after being with them, and it's not good on you. It's really not good. You have to, and I would have been poor probably at that at the start of just like, everyone, whatever, help everyone, get in everyone.
But you need to make money as well.
And that was down then. But you learn more about your boundaries and your values and things like that. And even with like the boys, mammy and all, it got to some of the stages like that as well, that I felt I was pushing like a lot of the way I was, or what I believed, onto her as well. I was,
You were. Oh. Yeah, you were, and you can acknowledge that.
Out of our own health and what I thought, like, lived the opposite. But like, then I used to get all the stick of, Mr. Fit, what are you going to do? What are you doing? And then little things like that chip away at you as well, even though you are trying to do good and just improve yourself and grow in yourself. One thing I've always tried to do or keep doing, and even now turning 50, it's like there's still so much more to go, so much more to do, is to keep reaching another level, keep going to another level, keep stepping up to something. And as you know, Leanne, I've done so much work in the past, like 5-6 years, especially around like emotional intelligence. Yeah, I've always kind of been about mindset, about resilience, and tying that into the physical training. And now it's that's the whole package now, the all around, like, I
think you've expanded your growth where, like, and I know sometimes when we talk about growth, we think it's about the climb, but if you extend yourself sideways as well, you can learn so much more. You grow your capacity to let so much more in. And I remember I was doing a course. I don't remember what course it was. I was doing something, and you were like, I think I'm going to do a 16-week psychology course, and I was like, that'll be great for the gym and the work that you do.
Way back college then, and all I went and did that one,
and you were like, I was thinking about going back to do more, because you wanted to understand people more, because we can be really linear in our thinking, and I think probably coaches can be really linear and like fucking fish, chicken and rice. Get your broccoli into you, and it's like, do this and the diet is going to work for you. I probably one of them anomalies where I was like, no, I want to eat crisps and that's it, I don't care. But the same thing doesn't work for everybody, and that's a hard lesson to learn.
And I've always been anyway of like, one size doesn't fit all in whatever we're doing, whether it's training, food, outside life, whatever it is. Everyone you could have 10 people in a room, and the 10 of them are feeling something different there right beside you. But that's the great thing about the gym as well. It's like in any group or a class or anything, you can have 10, 12 people, even 5, whatever it is, and they can be strangers, but they're going to come in and connect there. They're going to push each other, support each other, slag each other, take the piss, whatever it is, but they're going to create just a little connection, a little bond that some people just aren't getting anywhere. Like, I have a WhatsApp group just for the gym group and the gym members, and what I just started this week is another WhatsApp, and it's actually part of the podcast and the YouTube, but it's because I had to get messages when I organise gym hikes or walks or out to events or out to like saunas, whatever. I had to get people message, that looks good, I would have did that, do you have to be in the gym? I was like, no, anyone can come along, join in. I was like, do you not do it or whatever? No, I've no one to do that with, I've no one to go with. And there's so many people who are like, men and women who are just feeling like that, just no connection or a bit of loneliness or something. Like, now I'm on my own, but I love solitude, I love it. And I think there's a big thing there that people are just like missing that connection just
And
around. So
I think that's also very, very true, if not more so true for older people, because I'm part of a group called the Active Collective that Dylan Strong set up.
you're
I think
putting in the jabs about the older people. How long are we here, Carl?
13 minutes. How many did I get? But I joined that group, and I was telling you about it. I was supposed to go on the hike the weekend, but I didn't. But part of that, and the group has grown hugely. And again, it's people who are turning up to things on their own. And I remember the last Pilates that I was at, the bar stuff, and I was the oldest one there. Only a young one, but the oldest one there. And Orla's giving me the eyes, as is Keith. Carl's just laughing. And he said, like, people are asking what age group do you have to be in to come, and he was like, you don't have to be in any age group. And we've had that conversation where it's like, you don't, like, you can connect with people. You don't have to just connect with your peers or over a certain thing, but like, it's about expanding yourself to be a little bit more.
Isn't it funny as well? Because like we think of it, or like people mainly that I train with or am around now and coaching, or else are coming into that group, they are a bit older. They're in like mid-30s, 40s to 50, nearly early 50s. Like, but so many young people are actually having that issue now that you think they wouldn't. You know that way? They think there's so much going on younger, but it's probably like, because you can see even, like I see even with my boys, how they're on the phones or on the iPads or on things. So even when they lift up their head for a conversation, it's like you nearly have to give them a little click to take them over for a few minutes, isn't it? And like, there's a whole generation who are like that and can't hold conversation or can't communicate fully.
You're nearly standing over somebody at times, like waiting on them to physically feel you looking at them so that they lift their head up, because even if you're calling them, like they're
in a trance.
100%.
I think people are very much missing that element
and human connection.
Whereas like I'm like, how are you? Come here, I want to talk to you about this here. And people be like, you talk to anybody? I'm like, because people don't know how to talk, and that's, I suppose, the basis of our podcast. Is
some of
getting people talking.
The biggest, the funniest chats or things you get, especially what I found in the last couple of years, is sitting over in the sauna. Just I go to it. I'm obviously working out of a gym, and I have a membership in a different one just to, change the scenery. But you're never sitting in the sauna on your own. And you can either sit there, head down out of the way, or just start a chat with someone. And 9 times out of 10, then they just let it flow and let it out of them. Like, it just be so funny. Yeah. We actually get just loads of ideas for things to do, or material or content, something to talk about in the programming or in the coaching from just sauna chats.
Yeah, I think they're really important. Just opening up to strangers on the bus or having conversations. It's just so important.
Yeah, I think talking to strangers is great, because they don't know you, they don't know your story, so not that you can tell them anything, but like, do you know what I mean?
But there's a freedom as well in knowing that you're probably never going to see somebody again, so you can offload something on them. Yeah. We were out there a while ago and we met a young fella, and he was like, my dad does this and he fucking does this to me, ma. And he was like, I didn't tell him what I'd done for a living or anything, and he was just like, he was wrecked, like he was so drunk. He was really, really drunk, and I was worried about him, like, because he was only young. I kept saying, Jesus Christ, he's only young, and the state that he was in. And he kind of knew that he was out on a night out on his own, but that drunk. And I was like, where's your friends and how are you getting home? As I was drunk too, like, but I was like, where's your friends and how are you getting home? And he was just...
he found.
It was just all over the place. But then, like, only because I looked up and then I was like, oh, there's something wrong there, I'll watch out for him. I wasn't like, oh, I'll mind my own business, or I'll make sure that this doesn't happen or that doesn't happen. It was just like, he came over then, he just so happened to come over and put his drink on our table and asked could he leave there, and I was like, hey, your jumper's on inside out. Just so you know, like, but he was sloppy and he was messy. And then he was just like, nobody understands me, and that was it. He went off and went, but you don't know what you could have stopped that night for somebody. And I'm not saying that he was going to go off and do anything to himself, but like a small conversation with somebody could save somebody's life. And you don't even know
and
that
there's loads of things going around now as well, today and yesterday and all, since obviously the start of June, with June as Men's Mental Health Month. There's loads going around about just talk and thing. I think that's all a great message and a great thing, but I like, where do they go and talk? What do they do? There's a gap there somewhere, I think. You know, well, I just think, like, talking alone doesn't fix everything. I know you're saying about have a conversation and someone can just feel lifted and open, but I think if for someone really suffering, they need, like, a movement and action on things as well. And it's not just, I don't feel good today. That can be the start of it. Don't get me wrong.
And I'm not a believer in that I don't feel good today as what communication and connection is. I get that that's the experience that people have. But it's like care and empathy and respect have to be the basis of how you go into a conversation with somebody in a non-judgmental way, so that people know that they can talk or offload. I've sat in silence with loads of people. But just because they needed silence.
It reminds me just, like, probably one of my lowest times, and when I felt like that, what was the point of being here? And would anyone actually notice if I wasn't?
I would, Keith.
Here right now?
No, in general, I would.
When I was in the men's hostel, it was a hostel in town. When I was living in the hostel in town, and I've told this story. I actually told the story up here on one of the episodes, but it was just a day that will probably just always be in my head, because I was after being out with the boys for dinner, dropped them back home to Lucan, and just the evening to myself. So I was like, drive back into the hostel, set myself up into my room. The room in the hostel was like bunk beds, you know, steel bunk beds, spring coming up through the mattress, this type flimsy thing. I think it was actually a rainy afternoon. The hostel was on the quays. I was sitting out looking out the window, and like the quays were mad, you know, traffic up and down, people everywhere. And you're like, how the fuck am I after ending up here? And not only that, it's like everyone's just getting on with life. Like, life outside that pane of glass is just carrying on as normal. Yeah. Like, then you're like, I was actually thinking, like, imagine they just jumped in that lift now. Who'd notice? Or when would they find me? How long would it take them to find me and all? I was like, where would my body end up? And I was like, mad. Like, and then I was like, right, Keith, you can either, and not straight away, I was like sitting there for a while, I was like, right, you can either sit there and feel like this, or you can get the fuck up and get out and walk or move or do something. And I had to just get up and go for a walk, and just, not that fixed everything, like. And
I remember having a conversation with you years ago, we were both in the Clarion. I was obviously fat and going because I needed to lose weight and get fit. You were obviously the trainer at the time. But I had a conversation with you. Somebody in the gym had died by suicide. Yeah. The fella who used to wear the jeans on the treadmill. That's all I remember about him. The jeans and the vest. That's all I remember. When I came in, you were like, you never guess who died at the weekend. Yeah. And you were telling me, you were like, he died by suicide. And I remember saying to you, we're standing at the white cove desk upstairs, just as you come through the door. And I remember saying to you, but should we all feel like that? Looks like I pissed myself now. Sorry, I spilled my water. And I said,
no toilet breaks allowed.
And I said, should we all feel like that sometimes, don't we? And you were like, no. Yeah. What are you on about? Yeah. And I was like, no, we do. And I remember going, Keith never felt that before. And I thought about that for days after. Yeah. And then you talked about another friend who had died by suicide, left everybody their wages in the envelopes and sorted everybody out. His
own little business, and he made sure all the lads were fixed up and sorted before he went out and did it. Like that.
And I remember being astonished because of the people that I knew that were of my age group. Yeah. Around then, like, that would kind of all have had an experience. I was astonished that you hadn't had that experience at that stage.
I've had too many of them since now already. No, I don't mean me personally. I mean, like, losing people, friends, or even more in the area as well. Like, you know, people you went to school with and grew up with and all. But now a couple of, like, close friends as well, and you're nearly angry at them as well that they felt they couldn't reach out, or they felt that like was the only way out and things, you know, that type of way.
And isn't it really easy to get annoyed with people who can feel like that at times, and they're not saying that because they don't know how to explore what it is that's happening for them. So when you go back to that communication or that movement and that talk, and you've had people in the gym who were suicidal or had some suicidal thoughts or ideation, and you knew that they had, but they just ploughed through their day, ploughed through their cocaine, ploughed through their life, ploughed through the relationships
a chase
that they
or
were
a distraction or whatever it is, like, you know.
And they were still coming to gym. I remember thinking, his fucking heart is going to explode. He's going to die either way. We have to kick his body around the place. Like, do you know what I mean?
Where do we roll the bodies?
Yeah, where do we keep this body after he dies? But like, there were so many people, or there is so many people in terms of mental health that you come across like that on a day-to-day basis. But again, that visionary of that fast-paced life on the outside and you sitting still in behind the pane of glass and everything is moving. And I've spoke to quite a lot of people that are grieving, and you know, it's when you forced to merge, maybe after you lose your mum or you lose your dad, and you come out of the house, and you'll probably know some of this experience, and you have to start meeting people. And you don't want them to fucking talk to you, and you're vulnerable, and they want to talk to you because they want to go, how are you, come here, how's everybody, is everything okay? And it's such a vulnerable,
just normal
precious
to them,
glass place
like
to be in.
So I lost my brother to suicide, and like that when you're coming out, and my ma couldn't leave the house because everyone was saying, you know, the head to the side, and how are you? And why did he do that? Why did he do that? How the fuck do we know? Do you know?
Yeah, how are you?
That's awful.
Think, like,
yeah.
And they're asking as well of, you know, people are just being nice or whatever, or thinking it's just carry on and all.
Yeah.
Like, I know someone lost their mother recently, and she just didn't want to go out, face into life whatsoever. You know that way? Hasn't, like, didn't want to go even as simple to the shop, like.
Yeah. I've been there.
Yeah.
You had quite a lot of loss in a very
I
short
had
period of time.
3 and 12 months.
Yeah.
My brother, my ma, my dad. 12. The
Jesus.
day my brother died, my ma and dad died.
They died with that.
Yeah. My ma couldn't go out. She just kept saying, why was he calling me?
It's just
I didn't hear them.
Yeah. Isn't it? Like, you know that way? And that's, you can eat you up on that thing as well. Like, you can let it eat you up. Like.
Yeah.
I think that's why it's important to have male role models that have climbed down out of their ego and want to share and have normal conversations, but real conversations that are important. Because, I mean, people probably said to Stuart 20 minutes before he died, all right, bud, what's the story? Hey, bro, what's the story? How's it going? And they're not asking what's the story, and they're not asking how you are.
And he had loads of friends.
Yeah.
He was very likeable. Loads of friends. Big character.
Yeah.
You walked into a room where Stuart was, you knew he was there. You know, like,
but that's
the nicest chap ever.
The chap that
mental
Leanne
health.
was telling you about that left out the wages and all.
Yeah.
He was after being in the house playing cards and having a couple of drinks with some of the lads. And nothing came, no one noticed or knew anything, like, just all normal. You know that way?
Yeah.
So that was the first experience of, like, it just being normal and just totally out of the blue and shock, like, you know?
Yeah.
Strange. It's strange that we still see so much of it. And I'm a big believer in, if we improve men's mental health, we improve mental health all around.
And it's getting hard. Like, now I've over the years I've done like a lot of meditation, a lot of breath work. Went back and was doing, after I'd studied the emotional intelligence, I did a shadow work course, so it was getting deeper into your inner character and how, like, you think certain traits are so bad they have to be buried down, but, like, that's the worst thing we can be doing with them and all. But you wouldn't be able to sit and talk to some, even people I know, about things like that. Some people are still
surface level.
Yeah, and just, they still, I know, like, there's people with me, say, around me, or hung around it, or was part of groups or that, and they're still acting like they're 25 or 30. Everything is a chase, the drink, the drug, the women. Like,
the
it's
watch.
like, you know what I mean? The watch.
Do you like me watch?
Flash the Rolex up on a thing, and but they're heartbroken inside. They're
it's not
dead.
real
Like,
life.
it's not. They're like really struggling inside.
They're running
like,
from something.
And it's sure, even the word to be out on the chase, it's the running, isn't it? Like a chase is a run. You know the way you're chasing,
but
running.
I think, now you can as well, but when you see kind of fellas like that, even girls like that, you know they're running. Well, I do. I know they're running from something. Yeah. You know?
And when I'm in some of their companies and talking to them then, and they're giving all the bravado and the shit, I'm just sitting there going, like, just drop it, will
Yeah.
you? Fucking drop
Come
it.
on.
And then when you
Yeah.
say it to them, it's like,
Yeah.
we're going to head out, I have to do this. They won't sit and do it,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And then I do get a lot of people who, you're the only one I can speak about this,
Yeah.
but then they won't come and do it, or they try, and then they might meet up initially for a coffee or a lunch, because sometimes it's where we meet up and have a drink, because like, no, we'll go to the gym, have a training session, have a sauna, and coffee or that, and not that, like, I do drink, I don't drink a lot, like, but it's not the answer either, going fucking bottle of whiskey or something, you know, that type of way.
No, and you can see where it can be the answer for some people who haven't got any supports or maybe don't understand what the supports are. I think it's really sad that people feel as alone as they do in crowds of people. I think that's one of the saddest, most detrimental experiences someone can have.
Is just loneliness in amongst people. Yeah. Loneliness, like, even in relationships and families, wherever it is, there's so many people, I think, feeling alone, in a dark loneliness, not enjoying their own space or enjoying their own company or anything, but actually lonely. Yeah. Really lonely and thing.
And I enjoy my own space. I often seek peace. I'd be like, no, I'll go away on my own, or no, I'll stay away. I won't go to that. Holly will say she goes to the opening of an envelope. I'd be like, no, I won't go here, I won't go there, and just make a choice for that. But that's different to feeling
like even,
lonely.
Isn't it, though, like, if say in relationships or something, people would be like jumping from relationship to relationship, or barely out one, and the texting's already in another one, and you know,
people have affairs.
Constant.
They have emotional affairs with people as well.
Yeah.
People will have an emotional affair or an emotional connection with somebody to help them escape the loneliness of the relationship that they're in. And I suppose it is essentially that misconnection and that affair that you're having with somebody else. It's not a physical affair, but like if you're going and you're divulging all of your deepest, darkest things to one person, and nobody, the person who you're at home is supposed to be having a connection with or have built a life with for 50 and 20 years isn't getting any connection to you, well then, I mean, there's something that needs to be addressed or adjusted there. Like,
and I think when a lot of things happen or breakups happen in relationships or family, 9 times out of 10, it's the man that moves out. A lot of the times then as well, it's the man going back, mainly probably to a parent's house for a period or a while. And I think that's another issue then. So many men are living in a box room that they can't get out of. And I know it's like, I'm not saying that about, oh, poor man, God help man, this, but there's definitely a full section of people there like that who are stuck in that kind of space. And I know there's a lot of stick, geez, you're living out your ma's box room. I ended up back in my ma's box room for a good period as well. But you are stuck. You can't. The cost of living now, the cost of everything, it's very hard. It's very hard. But I always, like, that's why I think even me and Joanne, we get on so well now as well, is because as that goes on, like, it's the woman as well who's left there with the kids and doing the house and still running all of that. So it's such a balance, like, isn't it?
Gender normative roles. Yeah. There's an expectation in society that women will do that work and that men will do less of it, and men need to be better men and women need to be better women, but men need to support women to be better women and vice versa. And you know, it's great to hear that Joanne never weaponised the kids with you, because it means that they got to grow up in a fruitful relationship with both of their parents, but that's not the case.
And that's as well, everyone. I think part of that as well is because, like, no matter what, the boys came first. Yeah. I had them, took them all the time. I don't believe in this type of thing of your babysitting your kids and your fucking kids, like. And I always wanted to maintain, like, the two boys, best thing about me, like, I never ever forget holding them in my hands or anything for the first time. It's like, that's just pure love, and you're like, it's a shift. Sure, it's totally just different for women. Obviously, the baby is growing inside the woman anyway, but the bond is different there. But as a man, when you're first handed your child, it's such a shift. It's like, holy shit, like, this is the reality now. This is real now. This is real life. But such pure love, like, you know that way. Yeah.
And the sense of responsibility that comes with that as well. For most people, and I have to say not for all people.
I was a little bleeding idiot when Joshua was born, and I was like,
you could still be, Keith. You never know.
Bigger version. Come on, say it. Older version.
Slightly older version.
But and there was having him in your hand, it's like, oh, well, here we fucking go, like.
Yeah, and that's terrifying.
Really
and
scary.
You weren't young. You were
geriatric, It's grand. I was a geriatric ma, so I can say that.
32.
30, yeah, going on 32. Yeah, he was born in November then.
Geriatrics.
We were supposed to have been clever then.
Yeah, but like Alicia had grown into that kind of responsible role.
Why'd you
You'd
keep
done your
saying that,
travelling. Your teeth are real bright. You had done your travelling, Orla.
Yeah, I lived my life before I had kids.
Yeah. And you'd done a good bit as well.
Yeah, we'd done loads, and either on myself or before I met Joanne, and then with Joanne, like
Yeah. And then you done loads after that.
She had from when we were in the Clarion together, renting the space in there and working with another lad, to then owning two different gyms. Yeah, the first one was in the partnership up at the Clondalkin Builders Providers up at that. What's the Oakwood or Oakfield? Is it?
HD Fitness.
And then the other one, then Keith Dixon Fitness around the corner. Then,
Yeah. And they were
came
phenomenal.
in one day to just find fucking chains on the door. You're evicted.
But again, that was another process, wasn't it? While you were trying to grow and expand yourself, and you had obviously met a new partner and lived with her then for a while, and COVID had hit, and loads of things had happened, and then fucking Nama took over the building.
took the landlord's properties and all from them. Now I have to say, I didn't really buy into the COVID and the lockdown things. I didn't believe in it. I didn't get any vaccinations or anything like that. And even if anything was that, I think something's coming again with something, but
Antivirus.
I don't think. Oh yeah.
Sick of it.
Well, I got mine being locked down on a cruise ship.
I'm the same.
But I didn't do anything like that. Buy into all of that. But the landlord lost his properties.
Yeah.
Chains on the door one morning when I came in, so obviously had to get into the building. All the gym equipment was in the building, and I got onto the solicitor. He said, look, you can fight it, but you're going to lose it. He can drag you out just to postpone it, stay open and keep going for a while you're looking around and all. And that went on for about a year and a half. But it was like, you know, the constant phone calls, the constant letters. It was just pure stress. I should never have probably did that. But
And the properties were sold to the vulture funds at that stage anyway, so you're never going to get them back. Keith, how do you believe that you have shaped your sisters' lives?
my sisters.
The three of them.
Ooh. Well, I'd hope that they, after seeing like a good influence growing up, they'd know what like security is. All their husbands, I get on with all them as if we were best friends.
Yeah.
And even when we were all like there with their husbands a long time, we all hung around together, went out together. So it was a little tribe of us all the time all together. You know the way.
Yeah.
And I think how to look after someone and treat someone, you know.
Yeah.
And have a little bit of madness and a little bit of fun in it as well.
And
I need
suppose.
that.
Yeah.
You need a bit of madness.
Is that fairly solid as a family?
We're
aren't
really
yous?
close.
Yeah.
We're really close now, yeah. We're all still so close. Go out. Sure, last year we all went off on a holiday together on all Tenerife. We're all very close, tight-knit. Like.
The Waltons, like.
Yeah.
I don't think they're the Waltons.
Close enough, can I? Right, Natalie?
The Irish version.
Or enough version.
But I ain't shameless either.
The three sisters are too small.
Did you see that,
and
girls?
in fairness to the three sisters, I have to say, I used to call them like the witches of Eastwick, and they torture me and all, but they're so supportive of me and were so helpful to me going through shit as well. Like it always worked both ways, but they're after being a real strength in the last few years.
Yeah,
you know? But you can see different characters. Like my mom was always like the backbone, or is like the backbone, and does everything for everyone, and all, everyone comes before her. Like, you know the way we're always giving out to her. You need to stop. You need to, you know, even at Christmas going overboard, or even the grandkids, like, you need to stop this and that. But it's the Irish mammy, the typical real Irish mammy. And you can see the characteristics in the three girls come. They each have their different little ways, different little values of things, but I wouldn't cross any of them. Fuck that. Jesus.
And then you have grown up. Keith shared a picture of his niece there a couple of weeks ago at our party, and I was like, when the fuck did she grow up?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Sophie she's the first grandchild, and I think, oh, jeez, Sophie will probably get it wrong now, but she's 22 now. Could be. Anyway, sorry, Sophie. But yeah, Sophie's great. And I'm her godfather, and I always remember, I had no kids, obviously, years ago when Sophie was first born and all, but I used to bring her to all the, like, you know, the Disney, and she still talks about it to this day, like the Disney on Ices, you know, all the Christmas shows and the things like that. Yeah, when she came along, she changed the dynamics of the family again, loads, in another great way, like, you know. So then the kids start just popping out everywhere after that. they all have 2 or 3 kids now.
Gangs
Actually, my sister's a little slut.
Oh, God, Jesus, you can't say
Sorry,
that.
Sorry, girls. They know I'm messing. They know I'm messing.
They're certainly not.
No, they're certainly not. Yeah, no, the kids are great. And yeah, she's like that now. She loves life. She was over in Ibiza last summer, went for the summer and all that kind of thing. Yeah. And you can see now all the other, like, then it's my boys. Leanne has Abby as well, just younger than Sophie. But now there's another generation, I suppose, another set of them. Like Rachel's kids are younger now. They're, you know that way? And they're just starting into all this, growing up, starting on the football teams, the GAA. And that's what I was saying to Mick, like, is just make the most of it, because it doesn't last. It goes so fast. You know, when you're moaning on those Saturday mornings or Sunday mornings, just fucking make the most of it, because it just does not last. Does not last.
And even though they're physically there, as you talked about earlier, the communication starts to drift or shift and change, and you're like, how do I reach out? And I'm like, give them the space to come back, and just always be an open door. And, you know, when there's trouble, then it's your trouble, as in a family trouble. It's not just steering trouble on their own.
Yeah, we don't have to bombard each other. And I'm sure they have their own little girls WhatsApp group or something, like, you know what I mean? I'd mute the family one now and again just for a little breather.
I think we all do that.
I think everybody does at some stage anyway. Yeah, no, you could ring any of them for anything, the drop of a hat, like, and things. And they know that's vice versa as well for us all, like, you know what I mean? And same with me brother, like, the 10 years difference there. And even now, we wouldn't like speak every day or talk every day like that. It's one of those things where as soon as you meet up, it's just like, that's me brother sitting there, and, you know, that type, right?
Yeah, I'd be like that one.
And even I was best man at his wedding a couple of years ago, and I was like, I actually didn't think he'd ask me. I thought it was going to be one of his friends, his buddies. Like, he has a great little gang of friends. They're a great bunch of lads and all. And it was just such an honour, just such a fucking pleasure to do the whole day with him like that and thing. He keeps saying to me how it was great and what it meant to him and all, but I don't think he understands what it meant to me either, if that makes sense, another way. Yeah. I think he underestimates what I did, like, as well, you know. Yeah.
I think it's important to share that.
Yeah.
Like, that's real talk, isn't it?
That's real talk. I told him. He's always says to me, like, and even when they watched that video and all, they were like, "Jeez, I didn't realise you were doing that." Like, I'm rounding everyone up. Just a simple cheers. Yeah. He's like, "Oh, I didn't realise that." The speech, everything. He was like, Keith, it was just brilliant. And I was like, "Oh, Stephen, it was just my honour. It was my pleasure. I couldn't deny it." Like,
that's lovely.
And as the eldest in the family, it's an important role to embark on as well. There is that caring role that gets put upon you, and your parents are learning how to be parents with you as their eldest child as well. So you kind of can experience life a little bit differently.
That's it. And even growing up, if anything was going wrong or going on in the house and all, it was me who had to, like, calm situations. It was me who had to jump in first. It was me make sure the kids were all right, get back into bed, and like that was happening there. Yeah, as the eldest, you were the one that had to step up, step in, whether it was out on the road, in the house, anything in school, anything that was going on,
Despite your own difficulties that you were facing throughout all of the nearly 50 years that you're alive. Today. But as well as all of that, I suppose I have witnessed you shaping women's lives. Obviously, you shaped part of Joanne's by having the boys. You shaped part of partners after that and their daughters or whoever was engaged with you at that time. And then as you kind of moved through life, you shaped a lot of women who then became personal trainers from the engagements that they had with you in the gym. I was only speaking
about this the other day to someone. I don't even know how it came up, but there's 10 trainers out there now in the fitness industry that started with me.
Isn't that brilliant?
Yeah, 10 people.
And I'm not a bit surprised.
10 people,
Yeah. I'm not a bit surprised to hear that.
In touch with the odd one or two of them still now. Men and women, like, yes, 10 of them. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, and you can really influence people, and I suppose that's the ripple effect, isn't it?
Yeah.
You shape somebody, they shape the next person, and
that's
there's probably hundreds of people being shaped out there.
I know a lot of people are loving that have kind of not moved away from the fitness, like, because I think like your fitness, your strength is your foundation for life and living anyway. But like the way I train now or move now is completely different to 10 years ago or 20 years ago or whatever. But more and more people are engaging in like the mindset side of things, the emotional side of things, and just learn from that deeper level of not just like a 6-week challenge for this or a 10-week challenge for that. It's like, why do I keep fucking going back to that back grip? So why is the way you keep coming back on? It's for a reason, and it's not just a physical reason. There's a mindset behind it. There's a belief behind it, a value behind it, and a lot of people don't even believe, say initially, that they can lose weight. So they might be like, oh well, this is just the way I am. This is just always me. I lose a pound or 100 pounds. I mean, I was big bones.
I was always big bones. See them hips, they're from Crept.
Yeah, and they're just...
I'm happy being this size.
Take the C off the chips and what have you got? Your hips. Yep.
Yeah, and I recognise many people like that you have shape, but also I do recognise how much you've grown. I remember you asked me to keep a food diary before, when you're a little bit egotistical back in the day. You were like, keep a food diary. I was like, I cannot lose weight. And you were like, keep a food diary. And I was like, right, I'll be raw and honest. And he opened it. He was like, you're fucking eating McDonald's. And I was like, yeah, but it's only hamburger. It
doesn't count.
And then I gave him the book.
3 days in.
I gave him the book and he gave it back to me, and he was after highlighting all of the bad food in yellow highlighter, and I swear to God, I
wouldn't have said probably bad food. I'd probably said the timing of what you're doing and the amounts of what you're doing.
No, I'd say this but back in the day when you weren't who you are now, Keith, you used the highlighter
ego was
on
there
me.
first.
You used the highlighter on me. I was fucking disgusted. I was like, the fucking neck of him, which meant that I had to open the book and see the highlighter for the next like number of days. Like, do you know what I mean? Just staring at me.
Stop you pigging out?
No, it didn't. Jesus,
I'm sure I've eaten the highlighter.
But I suppose that just goes to show how much growth you've had, because then you went on and you done the psychology, the mindset, the well-being, and how that's influenced people who've come into the gym. You are very much a different person.
And I think
now. So am I, just
like
to say, don't use highlighters or eat them or anything.
Not anymore.
Still on the chips though.
I still have the hips.
But I think part of that as well was like years ago, training football teams, GA teams, like, and we even went right up to a level of training the Dublin county panels and all. So you could see how it was much more than physical training in that type of environment, you know. I did a couple of like nearly almost internship working with Bohemians Football Club and all. But you could see in those areas, in those environments, how the mindset was just about the performance as well, as like they had to obviously maintain a weight and be live up to certain standards on things. And that's what kind of like got me more interested in the mindset side of things as well. Yeah. Just opening up on that. Like, I was always reading. Like, I was just always reading something. Yeah. You know what I mean? Even now, people say to me, did you watch this or that? Or like,
don't watch.
No, I don't watch. And then where the fuck is getting the time to sit and watch 10 episodes of Yellowstone, whatever shit? I just don't understand.
That's for a bank holiday weekend, Keith. Yeah. I don't watch telly, but I do binge over a weekend every now and again, 3 or 4 times a year.
I don't be able to. I don't know.
You're lying in bed, you're not like watching the telly?
I don't lie in bed. I haven't even got a telly in my bedroom.
Oh, have you not? Couldn't cope without a telly in my room.
Yeah, but then would you not be like lying awake all night just watching?
That's why I'm always tired.
And this is why we're different.
That's why I'm always tired. But I have to fall asleep to noise.
No. Put some music.
No, because I'd be singing all the songs. Like, I love putting on a crime documentary and just listening.
Listening to a psycho getting murdered and that. Yeah, I'll go to sleep to that.
Yeah.
Freddie West.
Yeah.
Lovely. Go on, Rose.
Crime things are actually so, what would you say?
They relax
in fashion right now. Everyone's loving real life murders and real life.
Yeah, love it. I've always loved it. Always, yeah.
I think
Calms me down.
It's in oh God. Intrigued by the person.
Yeah. Yeah. You'd wonder what's in the mind, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
Remember years ago, there used to be a magazine you could get, and it was, I think it was called Unsolved Mysteries or something.
I remember there was a TV
Remember the
show of that, wasn't
programme?
it?
Yeah. But before that,
Yeah,
it was a
showing our
magazine,
age.
and my ma used to read them. And we lived in the flats at the time, so
Yeah.
I was young.
Yeah.
But my ma used to always read that before going to bed, so that's where I get it from. Thanks, Ma.
You're welcome.
But she was reading. See, reading.
She was reading, but that's because they hadn't got like iPads and stuff, what we have now. And
They
telly's
say
in
it's
your
better not
bedroom.
to have the telly in your room anyway, don't they?
Yeah.
It is better to have a telly in your room.
No,
Not to,
Charlie,
no, not to. Sorry, burst your bubble. No. Home and reef it down.
No,
Get an extra
This
telly.
fucking telly out here.
no, we haven't got a telly in the bedroom, in the mobile, and here I do be, I can't go back to bed yet. Oh my God, I can't go to bed yet. I'll be just lying there, so we're getting a telly
Wow.
in the mobile home,
Just
Leanne.
background
In
noise.
the mobile.
No,
It wouldn't
no.
be for me.
Yeah.
Keith, you don't have a daughter that we know of
Oh.
anyway, definitely not. But if you did have a daughter, what would you say to her about this day and age, well-being and health?
Oh, just be careful. I say it to my nieces. Like, I'm after seeing, say, Sophie and Abby now growing up, and especially body image, I think, is just crazy for young girls.
Yeah.
Now, I also think out in the street seems to be fairly dangerous at the minute. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just me, but Dublin, Ireland, it just feels like a powder keg at the minute, just waiting to explode. And I think, yeah, for young girls going around town or anywhere else, I suppose, yeah, it's be careful. Like,
terrifying.
and then with the body thing, body dysmorphia going on, body image going
Them
on.
bleeding Kardashians
It's,
started all that.
yeah, you see all the stuff online and all, and like, it's not
Allegedly.
real. Oh, it is.
Allegedly. What fucking
think
Chris
I can
will be
say
on
that.
to us? Fuck off.
Chris Jenner will be over here next week coming in.
Chris is joining us next week. Whoops. Little spoiler.
Surprise cameo. But yeah, and like my brother Stephen, his two girls, they're the same age as Joshua, and they're just after doing their leaving cert now, and like it's a different world going out here at 17, 18 and all. Zoe's just turned 18. It's a different world than when we were 18.
Yeah.
Don't. But it is. But body image, yeah, what they're seeing online with things, it's not real, not reality. Be careful going around. Like, you still have to let them go and make their mistakes and live and learn, you know, that way. But you'd hope they know how to be treated by someone and looked after by someone to feel safe and secure around someone and with someone, you know.
And then if you could say the same to the boys, not your boys, but young men in general, what would you say?
Don't be afraid to, like, show yourself, your true self. I think so many young teenagers are going around with their head down, and I think that's how they're carrying themselves, that's how they're speaking to people. They're not being just true to themselves, and I think there's a certain element of, even for men,
He points
for
at
us.
Carl as he
yeah,
says,
for
man.
us, and Carl will probably Carl would probably agree here. You see so much around of, like, a man has to be this or that.
Yeah.
Women want a man to be this or that, and then when it's not or not going on, like, oh well, then he's like, he's evil, or he's a bollocks, or he's a narcissist, all sorts.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's just confusing.
Yeah.
It's confusing.
I think it's confusing for everybody.
The world is confusing.
I just
isn't it?
want a man to be safe. I want my next partner to be safe for me,
Yeah.
and just safe in general. A safe person who's gone on their journey and done the work that they need to do. I think that young men are still exploring that journey, and young women are exploring that journey, and there is a disillusioned society out there right now.
As well, with, like, the access online to the likes of porn and all.
Yeah.
Like, there's not a real or a correct narrative of how a relationship should be, or what's right, what's wrong. It's like they're learning from online shit as well, you know, that type of way. And you're saying, I don't know, well, you're about TV viewers, so I'm sure you did. You watched.
I didn't watch telly.
You're a lawyer. But, what was the your man, Louis Theroux, the manosphere thing.
Yeah, that was
I
wild.
watched that now because I was after seeing so much about it. I watched it, and like, that's what's out there influencing generations, like, and that's what they think is right and thing, you know.
And I remember some of the women I spoke to when they were watching that, and they were like, I'm going to watch that with me boys, I'm going to tell me boys to watch that and then tell them not to be like them. And I was like, I don't think that your boys are going to pick up the message that we can pick up as adults that Louis Theroux is trying to get across. So I'd say watch it with them, and you need to nearly do, if your boy is young, you nearly need to do a narrative alongside what he's talking about.
Everyone was saying like how great he was and he was the real man and thing, but I don't think he questioned them on a lot of things.
I think he was allowing them explore.
Yeah, just let them say.
But that's what I mean, is I don't think that young men or young women would have picked up on what it was that we as adults with experience could
and then
see that he
you'd
was
hope
doing.
as well then that the girls seeing that are seeing, like, wasn't one of them, and he said to the girl or something like, well, you just have to stay in there out of the way, your job is
Go
to
in and
clean
clean
and
the
then come
room,
to my bed or something like
Yeah.
And he's still out with other women while she's doing at home, and like, you'd hope girls know that that's not
that's not real life.
That's not what you should be accepting.
And you can choose what way your relationship goes, but you actually have a choice in what that is.
I wouldn't like you think back of growing up, things we were out doing, and I wouldn't like to be growing up all over again now.
Oh, absolutely not.
Struggle with it too.
Like, and I worry, like, that's why I always say to my boys, no matter what's going on, where you are, ring me.
Yeah.
You're not in trouble for anything.
My dad
ring me and I'll be straight there. You're not in trouble, never be in trouble. Talk about it afterwards, but whatever it is, ring me. You're not to be somewhere feeling afraid or feeling you can't do this or whatever it is, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I hope they do say, but you hope that they have taken her on board. Joshua, he's nearly going to be 18. He's no interest so far in, like, drinking or that, and he was at his girlfriend's graduation night there a couple weeks ago, and he was texting me all like, this is so boring.
Oh, really?
I've no interest in this. And he's done that a few times when, like, his friends, some of his friends are in 5th year with him and some are in 6th year now doing their leaving now, and he's been out on some of their nights and things, and he just always, this is just boring, I just don't understand the appeal of it. So like, he said, is that all right? I was like, of course that's all right. Like, he was actually even afraid to say, I've no interest, this is boring. I was like, yeah, but like, you can still socialise, you can still be with your mates, you can still... Yeah. But I think there is a good handful, because I have another niece, Abby, and she doesn't really drink or anything either. It doesn't bother to be out and about anywhere. So I think there is... It's like, kind whereas of we were growing up, you had to have your bag of cans in the field, you had to go through all these things and all, you know what I mean? Whereas they don't seem to now, or it's not now.
Yeah. I think where health has probably taken over, then people go to the extremes. Then you'd witness that with the steroids and the injectables and the whole shebangs that people are moving into.
And it's like looking for that image online that's not true. And actually, I was on a podcast earlier, but it was he runs a health and fitness podcast, and as I said to him, like, so many coaches are putting out body transformations or body changes, and like, it's after being with drugs or all sorts going on, and it hasn't been like a 4-week, a 6-week. It was probably 12 months of hard graft and hard work as well, and obviously then all the AI videos and ads online are giving people unrealistic expectations as well on things, like, you're not going to undo 4 years, 5 years, 10 years of damage on a 10-week challenge or anything like it. You can give things a great kickstart. You can create new habits, you can create new systems, new structure, but you're not going to flip it all around. You're just not,
Keith, throughout the years, what has been the one song or the one thing that has kept you going, that you can keep going back to and go, that's a good driver for me?
Music. Yeah. Well, I always like Elvis and Frank Sinatra, the Rat Pack type. But I love the song AC/DC Thunderstruck. That's been my little rock and roll song, or me up the tempo for training. Actually, when I did the fight night when I was homeless and living in the hostel. I signed up for a fight night, and it was the 10 weeks of training and then the fight at the end of it. And Thunderstruck by AC/DC was the walkout. I did pick that as my walkout song to the ring. Thank fuck I won.
And as you move into your last week of your 50th year, I hope that you feel like
it's not my last week of my 50th year. It's my first week of my 50th year.
Not to one already. God. So it is technically.
I'm not 50 and a half. I'm 49 and 3/4 at the minute.
I do have this conversation with someone else about middle age, but anyway. Sure, as you move towards it and you see how much your life has changed, just to acknowledge that it has changed hugely, profoundly. Certainly in the past few years, if you've managed and moved through your own growth and things that you never thought that you'd face in your 30s as you were settling down and growing a family, and then became homeless and lost gyms and found people and lost people, and life really shifted and changed. Just want to say well done to you.
Thank you
for being the person that you are today. I think that you're a great friend to me, and I really like our friendship.
Likewise, Leanne, likewise.
I do really like you. Can be Orla's friend now as well.
I think I do keep my friends just on one hand, or there's not 1 minute at the, we're not in a room here at the minute.
Someone might pop their clogs
See,
through
for
my
real?
old age. You never know.
I liked you a minute ago.
But I do hope that the rest of your life, Keith, as you grow through it and move through it, is very much Thunderstruck, and you have that encouragement to keep going and do more and grow more. So on that note, my name is Leanne.
My name is Orla.
And together we are
How's Your Ma?